first looked at the set. I kind of took both halves and was like, neither's particularly exciting. They're pretty good together, but that's a lot of mana. And now all of a sudden I started losing games to it, and I've changed my tune. Okay, so just to recap here, we're here at GP Providence. We're watching Ben Stark draft, and he's first picked an Armed and Dangerous. This is a team draft, 3v3, so it's Yuza, Nakamura, and Stark. We're watching Stark. I actually haven't seen who they're playing against yet, but we'll get that for you once I have that information available. I can't quite tell from the hands on the table. But this is a timed draft here at the GP in day 2. That means that the judge is going to tell you exactly when you can draft, when you can look at cards, when you should pass them, and you just follow their instructions and keep your eyes forward as there's been people caught on film doing a little peek at what's coming down the line, and that is strictly forbidden here.
People get banned for that.
Yeah, you can.
Rightly so.
All right, so here's the second pack for Ben Stark. Let's see what he's got. I saw a Scab Clan Giant. There's a Jester.
Massive,
that's a Viashino First Blade, actually. Oh, and there's a Beckon Call as well. Beckon Call pretty good, but very slow. Looks like he's pulled the First Blade to the front here. There's also a Rubble Belt Maka. He's got a Woodlock Crawler pulled to the front too. Ben's pretty good with us about this, generally speaking, in that he'll pull the stuff he's genuinely considering to the front usually. If he knows that he's on camera, and he's just going to take the Maka here. Keep it simple.
I like that a lot. I mean, it's on color with your Armed Dangerous.
So it keeps him in Gruul.
Yeah, it keeps him in Gruul. I mean, if he goes with the Spike Jester or the Mastiff, then he's committing to Naya or Jund by just taking the red card there. Robot Maka, definitely a card you want. Like, it's always one of the better cards in your hand.
Yeah, such an efficient, versatile spell. There's a Plasm Capture. I saw a Tithe Drinker in the back. Feral Animus, there's not much in this pack for Ben here. Feral Animus, pretty unimpressive. I believe the Crawl Warrior's the best card for his deck as he's going so far. He seems to have pulled the Steeple Rock forward, so he could be looking at venturing into different colors here. Tithe Drinker, clearly a powerful spell, but right now he's taken a red and a red-green spell, and going into Tithe Drinker would be a pretty big departure. Let's see what he decides to do here. I think the Crawl, okay, so he does in fact take the Crawl Warrior. That seems like the most reasonable pick here.
It's a pretty safe pick. There's nothing in the pack that's like powerful enough that you need to hate draft it from your opponents. It's just like the second pack you looked at. So, we talked about the hate drafting element a lot, but right now he's just getting cards that are good for his deck in particular.
Wow, and he just got past a sweet one. He's got a Zertod Druid. There's also a Thrashing Moss Dog that he'd love to pick up, but that Zertod Druid just goes right in his deck.
Yeah, Zertod Druid just seems absolutely perfect for what he's trying to do at this point.
Also, it's probably the best card in this pack, right? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, the Moss Dog and Weapon Surge, both close.
They're okay, yeah.
But I think Weapon Surge is a lot better than most people give it credit for.
But it's not as good as Zertod Druid.
It's not as good as Zertod Druid. The Gate is also a pretty good card, but again, Zertod Druid. How that pack tables back to him is going to be really indicative of the way the draft is going.
Yeah, he could get those Gatekeepers back. If they don't come back, then somebody's definitely on a Gatekeeper plan. All right, let's see what he's got here. Well, he's got a Maze Rusher for a big top-end punch, but he's also just got a Battering Krasis, which is something he's going to consider now. Let's see if we enter the hate draft stage of the draft portion here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty late Rudder's Bane.
No, he's just going to take the Battering Krasis. Look, it goes in his deck. It's a solid 3. I wouldn't call it particularly exciting, but it's a 3 that you'll happily run in your deck.
The other thing is that by passing that particular card, the Runner's Bane can be easily countered by a pump spell. You can just make it fall off the creature that it's on.
Absolutely.
And there's another Runner's Bane.
There's another Runner's Bane. There's a Fatal Fumes. He's also brought a Prophet Lost to the front of the deck. And there doesn't seem to be much for him. He could take the Gruul Cluestone or the Mutant's Prey, but neither of those are really very exciting.
I mean, I like taking the either the Gatekeepers or the Runner's Bane. I like the Runner's Bane because you just passed one, so you just told somebody in your left to go blue, and then you're hooking them, which is kind of nice.
There it is. It looks like Ben agrees. So
I think it's also just the best card in the pack.
I agree.
And there's nothing on color for him, so.
All right, the Spike Jester did come back out of this pack, but not much else here for Ben Stark. Green is looking a little dry.
It's pretty easy to just pick that up.
He could veer over into Jund if he wanted, or he could just take that card and not play it.
Now this next pack, if we remember properly, that pack is going to have pretty much nothing for him at this point.
Right.
Last time he got the Crow Warrior, and that was really the only red or green card that came for him.
Yep.
And now there's just going to be nothing. Ooh, but
spiked. Oh, it looks like the similar print run.
Yeah.
for that other
so I was wrong. I'm sorry.
So both Spike Jesters
miscounted.
come back. Wow.
So but that last pack was his opening pack.
Yes.
Now he just
I
he
assumed it
tabled
was
a pair of
because
Spike
we saw a
Jesters.
couple of the same cards. You can see this with the print run sometimes. So double Spike Jester now. Is that going to push him further into black?
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways now he could very easily just be a Golgari deck that splashes red for the red half of Armed Dangerous.
Okay.
And so here he's gonna he's got a great transition going on. He could take the Gruul Cluestone here, or he could just take Rakdos Drake. I like taking Rakdos Drake here. I think it's just the best card in the pack.
I think he's going to take the Cluestone. Let's find out. Oh, he does take the Cluestone. So I know. I've talked to Ben about Rakdos Drake personally, and he's not a fan of it at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I like the card.
I think it's okay. He really doesn't like it.
Yeah. See, so here he gets a Gatekeepers.
So we did see the Gatekeepers came back. So.
And that pack was pretty healthy with green cards.
It was.
I mean, the Gruul Gilgay got picked up, so he knows that that's probably the card that's in the guy in his left stack. So
interesting. You see that he just so he's definitely on the Golgari plan here as he just picked up a Rot Farm skeleton.
Yeah.
Now, whether he starts that in his deck is going to depend on how aggressive he thinks he can be. But yeah.
So he picks up
there.
Golgari Cluestone on color.
Seems fine.
Yeah, I mean, for these last picks, I mean, you're really just,
Yeah.
You're looking for sideboard cards, you're looking for stuff that you might end up playing, and I mean, if he gets enough 5-drops, he's probably going to want to play both those Cluestones.
Yep. And there's a Mutant's Prey as there's two cards that just he's not worried about.
Ooh.
And here they are, another Cluestone late. That one's a Rakdos Cluestone.
Again on color.
Yeah, that's actually probably better than the Golgari one for him, right?
Yeah, I mean, it
Give that
helps him splash.
Yeah.
So here going into Pack 2, Pack 2 is going to be a little weird for the Golgari deck that splashes red because you're going to really have to control yourself to not take too many cards that are...
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting, because you can definitely veer off here. Let's take a look at what Ben has so far.
I mean, it's kind of hard to splash red, too, when you're double Spike Jester. You might just need to be solidly 3 colors.
Yeah.
So
that's absolutely true. Remember, he's got that Zerta Druid, too, which is another card that you're not going to get to cast.
Yeah, so I mean, in Pack 2, he may just have to value things like... gates extremely high on color gates.
Please return your picks to a single face-down pile. At this time, please take the pack marked B or the pack of Gate Crash if you are using sealed product. Open it, lay it out face down.
So you see the players count out the cards in every pack to confirm that there's a proper number there. This is a very procedural event here whenever you're at a high-level draft and it's being called. Yeah, with your friends, it gets a little looser. But here you're doing a lot of cards, counting, making sure that everything's proper because you just don't want to have a screw-up where somebody goes, wait, I have too many cards. And
one person, double dipping, even if it's an accident.
Yes.
It ruins everything. So you can't let that happen.
It's also why you have to pass them. All right, so let's take a look at the opening pack. Wow, a Death Pact Angel there. Right off the front is a big bomb here, and let's see if Ben's going to just hate draft that. There is a few
I mean, he
cards
really didn't see any white or black cards. He saw the Tithe Drinker come third pick, but besides that, everything in those colors was dry, and he's passing to an opponent right to his right who's probably in those 2 colors.
That's right. So he just took it. He's like, nope. He is going to ship a Cartel Aristocrat. He can't be too happy about that. There's nothing really exciting for his deck. There are some definite playables in here. There's an Ember Beast.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to get to table an Ember Beast or Skimbrand Goblin, or at the very least the Gutter Skulk, all of which are cards he's going to be pretty happy to play in his deck.
Yeah, Gutter Skulk's a good one.
It's pretty easy to cast. It's a 2-drop that's easy to cast as opposed to most of his 2-drops right now.
If he's going to be in 3 colors, one of the things that I've been doing is prioritizing cards that are a colorless and a colored mana as opposed to, the double 2-color mana symbol because, man, just being able to cast those spells on time is a big deal.
Definitely.
All right, let's take a look at Ben's second pack here. This is still Gate Crash. There's a Basilica Screecher, not a bad start. Wow.
Mugging, too.
Yeah, there's a Mugging, there's a Spark Trooper, but I also see a Pit Fight and a Kingpin's Pet, so he can't be happy about passing the pet, but he's definitely taking Mugging, and there it is.
Yeah, and it's just the best card.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you're passing the Kingpin's Pet, you know, you'd rather an opponent have Kingpin's Pet than Mugging in their deck in most situations. Yeah. And Mugging just outright, you know, beats Kingpin's Pet. It's 1 mana to deal with something
Put those
that costs
in the
3
arena,
mana.
we know who comes out ahead.
Yeah.
And plus, Ben can cast it. So.
Yeah. Generally good to take cards that are in the colors you can cast.
Yep. I am curious to see if he veers hard in a direction towards Gruul or towards Golgari, though. Wow, now a 1,000 lashes. So
there's also Homing Lightning here, though.
There's also Homing Lightning. So interesting. Because if he takes a Homing Lightning, he's definitely taking a stand towards red. It's going to be pretty tough to be equal 3 colors and be comfortable running that Homing Lightning. So he's doing it. It is the best card in the pack, but he's just passed Cartel Aristocrat, Kingpin's Pet, 1,000 lashes to his opponent after cutting the Death Pact Angel. So he's got a pretty good feel for what his opponent is doing on his right-hand side here. They're going to hold the players for a minute. They're drafting all the players at the same time, so there's one table that's a little behind.
Lay out 11 cards.
All right, here we go.
Pick up the pack. You have 25 seconds.
All right, let's see what he's got here. Well, it's an off-color gate.
Yeah, this pack's super dry for him.
This pack is just awful.
Yeah.
And he's just going to cut. Oh, it wasn't a gate. It was a Godless Shrine?
Yeah, he's just going to take the Godless Shrine.
Okay.
You know, just rare drafting.
For value, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also because he strongly presumes that the person on his right is an Orzhov.
And if he doesn't have any picks, he is going to be hate drafting, and that was the best card for the opponent in his right, or person on his right. There's always a chance that the person on his right is not in Orzhov, which gets kind of interesting too. All right, a Guildgate. There's a Zertos Swine. I also see a Siab Clan Charger, but he just slams the Swine here. And yeah, there's really nothing else for him in this pack, I suppose. Zertos Swine, a nice pickup.
Yeah, there's also the Gruul Key Rune, but that card's not quite as good as in his deck. His deck has a lot of 2-drops and things like that. Fixing in it for his deck should really be gates.
Yeah, he's also got three Clue Stones already too. So.
Yeah.
You have 20 seconds.
Another gate, but again, it's the wrong color for him here. So this pack just looks awful. There's a Nimbus Swimmer he can take. He could play a wild.
And that pack's just pretty weak in general.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, the Dimir Guildgate is definitely the strongest card, but.
And draft. Please lay out 8 cards.
So these packs have been, not atypical for a team draft. You see packs like this a lot where, a lot of the good stuff's going and you're getting cut. All right, so the Ember Beast did come back along with the Gutter Skulk. Wow, the Cartel Aristocrat too. That's interesting. Or was this the same pack with the Basilica Screecher? I can't remember now. Because you would take the Screecher over the Aristocrat probably if you were in Orzhov to his right.
Wasn't there was a Death Pact Angel, and what were the other cards in the pack?
Well, there was definitely an Aristocrat there, so.
There was an Aristocrat that came back.
And that came back, so that's interesting.
Yeah, so maybe it's things are a little different than they might have previously been presumed to be.
There's a Boros Key Rune, not going to do much. There's a Millennial Gargoyle, which he can take, or he can just take another 5-drop with a Thunder Fist. If he plans on running a couple of those Clue Stones, the 5-drop will be nice. He's just going to take the Dutiful Thrill. He's not excited about the 5-drop here.
I mean, the thing is like Dutiful Thrall, he's the double Spike Jester deck.
Yes, it's good against him, exactly. Take the Shadow. Yeah, he's going to take the Shadow Slice here. Just cutting it.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to run it.
He might. I mean,
it's possible.
It's not that bad.
At least a sideboard card, if anything. And not much here. He's just going to go for the Horde of the Dim.
Yeah, it's a body.
Now it's going to get interesting in this third pack that's coming up soon because that's the Golgari pack for him.
Yeah.
And he has taken some pretty Gruul cards here, including Homing Lightning, which was double red. And if he wants to take a bunch of sweet Golgari cards, he's really going to need to pick up some gates to increase the consistency of his deck here. He has a deck. It's not that his deck doesn't work.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he can
his
definitely
mana's not
play.
where he wants it to be right now.
It's just that his mana's pretty bad right now.
Right. Doing a little shell game for us there, Ben. The Gutter Skull came all the way back.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a really good spot.
He couldn't
that Gutter
take
Skull
that
came back.
fast enough.
There's no way he expected that, especially after playing
I
with
take
a
that Gutter Skull
like that.
a lot higher than the players at the table.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at what Ben's got here. The key thing are the colors. Green, red, black are the main colors. He's in Jund here, but he's definitely got some questions as far as mana goes and what direction he wants to push.
He's ordering his deck in terms of converted casting cost.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he knows what his curve looks like. He does have the Godless Shrine to splash the Death Pact Angel if he so desires. He's definitely taking that into consideration.
Interesting that he's put the Zertos Swine with the 3s.
Yeah, I mean, he has enough 2-drops, it looks like, where he's going to be able to, usually use that as a pump spell.
Please return your picks to a single face-down pile.
Okay, here's the critical last pack. This is Ben's chance to pick up a few things that he wants. He'd like some mana fixing. Any more removal he can get would be good. He's got a little bit. He's got a Mugging and a Homing Lightning, but he'd like to have a few more removal spells floating around, and then just filling out the deck with quality creatures like Drag Manglers, even 3-drops that he can play like Sewer Shamblers and such are going to be fine for him as well. So let's see if he can shore up a few of the deficiencies that his deck has. It's not too bad right now. He's in a decent spot, but he could certainly use a little bit of fill out in a few areas here.
Especially for a 3v3.
Right. Yeah, looking pretty darn good for a 3v3. We get a look. That's Martin Yuza there with his Channel Fireball shirt from his home country. He does love orange juice as well. I've seen that guy consumes mass quantities of orange.
I mean,
juice.
he's on planes every week. He kind of needs to keep that immune system going.
He's never actually outdoors.
Yeah. I mean, he's just breathing recycled air all the time.
It's true, man.
If he doesn't have like 500% of the recommended intake of vitamin C at all times, he would just die.
He's just a pile. Yeah. Yeah, when we were stuck in Philadelphia during the hurricane after the GP there, he went to the convenience store and bought 2 gallons of orange juice and then realized he didn't have a refrigerator. I think he worked something out.
He works like that. He went and bought ice.
Or just drank it.
Just filled the sink up with ice. And everybody's done that.
Yeah, who hasn't?
Who hasn't, right?
All right, so players getting ready for the 3rd pack. So for those of you that haven't drafted much recently, this is the Return to Ravnica pack. And here we go. They're going to be laying out the cards in front of them and counting them, and then we're going to get a look at this very first pack for Ben here.
If you're using a sealed product, please remove the basic land and token or tip card.
So how's Martin sitting across? Is this a circular table?
Yeah, there's somebody on Ben's left.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Thought Flare. There's a solid creature off the bat in black with a Thrill Kill Assassin there. I haven't got quite a look. Ooh, but there, and here we go, Mr. Hate Draft.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hypersonic dragon.
He's going to cut the hypersonic dragon here.
There's such a huge portion of games where you're like, oh, how did you lose? And my opponent casts, and then X.
Bomb, whatever.
Yeah, and I just lost. And the hypersonic dragon's one of those cards.
Now he's going to get something back for sure here. There's a Lobber Crew. I don't think the Thrill Kill Assassin will table, but it could. It's probably the best card left out of the pack, maybe Thought Flare is, but there's also a Sewer Shambler and a Lobber Crew that he could get, along with the Rakdos Shred Freak, but that's a lot less desirable than the other two. All right, so the Hate Drafter has Hate Drafted, and let's take a look at the next pack here and see if Ben can add something to his deck. Are we assuming, do you think that Ben thinks that the player to his left is an Izzet as well?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
he's gotten 1 pack from him.
There have been like Dimir Guildgates going through that guy pretty late, so maybe he's not blue.
Okay. Could be.
What was do you remember anything in pack 1 that particularly was past that direction? Oh, the Runner's Bane, yeah. So he did pass a Runner's Bane in pack 1.
That is true.
So
card that goes just fine in Izzet. Or any blue deck, really.
Yeah.
All right, looks like they've got a brief hold up here just to make sure that all the tables are synced up with the draft, and then we'll get back underway in just a moment here.
Yeah. Now, again, like yesterday, I talked a bit about when you are testing for these events, how you should really time yourselves during deck building to learn how to deck build a team sealed properly. Now, in these drafts, when you're at a Grand Prix and you're drafting, it's really important to understand how the time works. There are a lot of different things you can do. You only have so long to look at your cards in between picks.
That's a big one, because I think that in a normal side draft, it's people, they call it MTGO rules, right? Like you can see your picks when you want to look at your picks, and it's not a big deal. But that does not fly here, and that can be a big adjustment for
you
people.
can hide those picks on Magic Online
to
test for this, and then after each pack, you pull it down, you look at it for 20 seconds. You order everything up. I mean, it's somewhat unfortunate that you have the ability to right-click and order by casting cost, but makes it a little unfair.
I guess you could just make yourself drag them around.
I guess.
Look, if you want to take this seriously, let's go into Rocky mode here and get some
chase the
training.
chicken around and push-ups, you know.
All right, so for those of you just tuning in here, we're watching Ben Stark draft. This is the second draft of the day. There's going to be 5 for the teams that make it to the finals. There's going to be 3 for the teams that don't make it to the top 4. All right, here's the second pick out of the Return to Ravnica pack here. And let's take a look. Ooh, Underworld Connections. Double black, though, is kind of rough for Ben's deck, but you might want to just pick that up. If not, he's going to take the Towering Indrik.
I don't know. I think he might just take Skymark Rock.
Oh, you think he's just going to cut?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're
that
right.
thing's really good.
Hey, so again, you know, we were told this beforehand. I had a chat with Martin Yuza, and he said Ben Stark hates everything.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mean in the world. He means hate drafts everything, and that's what we've seen. There's only been 2 picks, and he's hate drafted both.
I mean, I cannot complain about those 2 hate drafts. So both those cards are so powerful.
They're excellent
I mean,
cards.
they're cards that a lot of decks cannot beat. Skymark Rock. A lot of decks cannot beat Hypersonic Dragon. If you're in a team draft, you don't want your opponents to have those cards.
No, you absolutely do not.
But yeah, his mana's not going to be the best, but he's making his opponent's decks worse, and he has teammates to pick everything up. Here he picks up an Augur Spree.
And he gets to actually take that.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be pretty happy about that one.
There's an Udvara Hellkite there. He is going to be passing in Izzet Charm, which is a solid card, but not on the level of Skymark Rock and Hypersonic Dragon.
Yeah, also, I mean, not on the level of Augur Spree either, so.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, the Augur Spree's an easy choice here. He's really hoping to get that Dead Reveler back, but seems unlikely.
Doesn't look like it's going to happen,
yeah.
But then again, I think black is extremely open at the table.
It is.
Especially directly to his left, though, which is the problem, because, I mean, he got that Gutter Skull.
Last.
13th.
Yeah, second to last pick.
Yeah.
He had 2 cards left. He looked at them both, and one was a Gutter Skull. The other was
nice.
like a Paranoid Delusions or something. I don't remember, but yeah.
Gutter Skull is a scary rat. Imagine a rat that, if it fought a bear,
would tie.
Both of them would die. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It's terrifying.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I can think of a scarier rat.
Oh, so can I.
Yeah. All right, bunch of options. Wow, this is a similar pack to his first one, too. A Thrill Kill Assassin as well. Also the Sewer Shambler Rakdos Shred Freak combo that we saw. But this time he's going to take the Thrill Kill Assassin.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a good card. On defense, you know, you get to, block anything and trade with it that doesn't fly. On offense, it just keeps getting in there. I mean,
it basically says unblockable. Like, nobody ever blocks that guy.
Yeah, the only things that block it favorably are things that cost more mana.
Yeah, or like a Brush Strider.
Yeah, and then you're just trading even money.
Yeah.
And people are always first picking Brush Striders, right?
Yeah.
Not always, but I mean often. It's a really good 2-drop.
It's a fine.
Super easy to cast, 3 power. It's like a Daring Skyjack.
Yeah.
Cards I'm really happy to pick up. The fact that it's green makes it even better too, because the pump spells are so powerful. I mean.
All right, so Ben Stark is awaiting his next pick from Return to Ravnica here. He's picked up a couple of cards for his deck, and a couple of cards that his opponents will never be seen for the duration of this draft. everybody's drafting at once here. That's why we have an occasional delay here. We have to make sure that all the tables stay in sync because there's one judge that's calling the draft for everybody.
Yeah, so the second there's a hiccup somewhere, that just stops for everybody.
Yeah, which isn't the most efficient way, but overall, this is the most efficient way to do one of these drafts. All right, here's the next pick for Ben. All right, he's got some decent choices. There's a Sluiceway Scorpion, an Ogre Jailbreaker. He's got an Elmer there, the Axebane Stag. What do you like here? Do you like the Sluiceway Scorpion?
I like the Scorpion.
I do too. Rubbleback Rhino is okay too. Golgari Keyrune, but he's got enough clue stones that he doesn't really need that.
Based on the way the draft went, like it's either Scorpion or Slug, and I think Slug's going to table anyway. Batterhorn's definitely a consideration, but I don't think it's as good.
Scorpion or Slug? Those aren't even.
Well, I meant that I wanted to table the Slug because the Slug's going to be a really good sideboard card against him for a lot of the different decks that he passed.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So do you like the Slum Reaper or the Ogre Jailbreaker? I don't think Ben has any gates yet, and it doesn't look like he's going to get any.
He's going to get any.
I like Slum Reaper a lot. I think that I like it more than most people do, though.
I'm not a big Slum Reaper fan.
Yeah, I've heard that
especially when when you're not white or when you're not white or green with the tokens, and he passed an Eyes in the Skies. You know,
okay. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so 2-drop or 3-drop here. Tavern Swindler, Sewer Shambler.
See, this is where he really wants to get to see what cards he has. I mean, the fact that the Thought Flare tabled has to be a little bit frustrating to him because he wasted a first pick on a Hypersonic Dragon, and if anybody was capable of
did not come back.
Yeah, and if anybody was capable of actually casting the Hypersonic Dragon, they would have taken the Thought Flare.
Yep.
Pick up the pack. You have 15
yeah.
seconds.
All right, well, he got the Towering Indrik and
the Underworld
Connections back, and he just immediately takes Underworld Connection. So your read here is that that black is wide open to the table, and that seems to be 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that Gutter's Cloak was a green light.
Yep.
You have 10 seconds.
All right, no black cards in this pack. But
Savage
there is a
Surge.
decent pump spell.
Super happy to pick that up.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a really good card.
It is. It's a good
pump
card.
spells are just really good here.
And draft.
All right, looks like we had a little bit of a warning there, but it's gone. Yep, there's another Ogre Jailbreaker, Sewer Shambler, and there's also a Grim Roustabout. So again, black being open is just wide open here. Nobody seems to be in black at this table. Did he take the Ogre Jailbreaker again?
No, he took the Sewer Shambler.
Sewer Shambler, okay.
Yeah, it's a 3. He doesn't really have many of those.
Yep.
Oh man, that Keyrune table too?
Yeah, Keyrune tabled. No Catacomb Slug for Ben here.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect that Keyrune table. Here he's going to get a Slug.
Yeah.
I guess the Ooze, maybe?
Yeah, just take the Ooze over the Slug.
Yeah, I guess.
2 cards.
Hoop.
Pack 5 seconds.
And he finds a Mind Rot in his last pick, a card that you're also quite fond of.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I like weird cards. I don't play necessarily the normal.
Hey, everybody's got their own personality, their own opinion.
I like slugs.
Some guys
I
like slugs
mind
and
rots.
mind rots. Some people like other stuff.